Thank you so much. Please be seated. Thank you so much. Just so you know, every word George wrote, I had not seen any of it beforehand. He said, I don't want you to see it. I said, okay, I trust you. He's becoming a great writer. I'm very proud of him and Claire. So now, this is a great occasion for WIU. So I want to say a big, great afternoon to everybody. Welcome to our WIU students, faculty, staff, alumni, and guests. Deputy Governor Martin Torres, WIU Board of Trustees Chairman Doug Shaw, we're looking in the wrong direction, and all members of the board. I know many of you are here. Thank you so much for being here. Macomb Mayor Eman, Mr. Mayor, nice seeing you again. And Moline Mayor Royal Party, Professor Royal Party, and the Mayor, thank you for being here, ma'am. And President Ken Hawkinson, nice seeing you in particular. Anne-Marie, such a pleasure to have you here. Good friends, good times together. We crisscross our paths here and there, Pennsylvania, Western Illinois, no difference. And President Guiyou Huang, thank you for the warm welcome and for the greetings you brought from Massachusetts or California. And thank you, Phyllis, for the great book. I already read some pages of it, so you know. Great writer also. And of course, fellow presidents and delegates from colleges around the country. Join me today for this proud occasion of my wife, Dr. Jennifer Yufeng Qian, a professor of education at LSU, Louisiana State University. Son George, from whom you heard, is a senior major in political science and history at Rice University, Houston, Texas. He flew in from Houston yesterday. And my daughter, Claire, who is a sixth grader attending St. Paul School. It is a tremendous privilege to stand before you today as Western Illinois University's 12th president. I'm both humbled and honored to lead this great institution. Rich in history and steeped in tradition, Western has been transforming the lives of students for more than 120 years. Many of our students come to us often from families of modest means, trusting us to help them find their passions and prepare them to pursue lives of purpose and meaning. Western has been and is a community of Latinx. Author and psychologist Angela Duckworth, in her book, Great, describes great as a combination of passion and perseverance for an important goal. Great is the hallmark of high achievers, and thus great is the hallmark of WIU Latinx. Students at WIU work hard in the classroom, give their best in the athletic arena, provide notable service to their communities, and make the most of their Latinx experience. Our students have an innate desire to succeed and to change the world, and they persevere to actualize their dreams. I have met many students since my arrival on campus last January, and they have welcomed and inspired me, and their stories make me so proud. As just a few examples. As soon as Joni Maxwell stepped foot on campus, she quickly engaged within her residence hall and applied to be on the 2020 and 2021 homecoming committee. She volunteered with the University Union Board during COVID and became its president for the current academic year. Along with being a resident assistant, a University 100 peer mentor, passionate about creating programming spaces that create meaningful experiences for WIU students, Joni cares greatly about providing social and learning opportunities for her peers. The highly motivated Vanessa Brabant embraces every opportunity that comes her way while finding a way to balance it all. She's a strong advocate for student involvement and cares deeply about others. What I admire about Vanessa is her desire to build relationships with her peers to create meaningful experience in the organizations in which she's involved. Rockathon, a dance rockathon, was started by a group of students who wanted to give back in ways no other student organizations at WIU had done before. Over the last 9 years, over 3,500 students who participated in Rockathon have developed a passion for raising money for 2 children's Miracle Network hospitals in the greater St. Louis area. And they have raised close to $800,000 to date. Not only has this program helped provide funds to countless families with sick children, it has taught WIU students the meaning of giving back and paying it forward, caring for others, teamwork, passion, and making a difference in people's lives. Western has outstanding staff. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge just a few of them for their good work to support student success, particularly over the last 2 years. First, our risk management team and our nurses and health staff at WIU. Since spring 2020, these dedicated civil servants and administrators have worked tirelessly staffing testing and vaccine clinics and maintaining health standards and protocols to ensure our campus's safety. Before they moved indoors, they faithfully stood in the elements to collect COVID test samples to uphold our university community's health and well-being. They have gone above and beyond in all that they do. These individuals ensure the well-being of our students and employees, physically and emotionally, and for that, I thank you. Our staff in the Multicultural Center are here for our underrepresented students. They work alongside students from the Gwendolyn Brooks Cultural Center, the Women's Center, LGBTQIA Resource Center, and the Casa Latina, and many other organizations to lead change and ensure a culture of inclusivity and respect. Western has remarkable faculty. Dr. Wayne Phippen, the School of Agriculture, was awarded a $10 million biofuel federal research grant from the National Institute of Food and Agriculture to investigate the use of the alternative crop, pennycress, as a new cash cover crop for the biofuel industry. The goal is to further refine pennycress as a new winter annual cash cover crop. Researchers from universities in 4 states are part of Dr. Phippen's team to refine this high-yield oilseed crop, integrating into existing corn-soybean rotations and yielding up to 2 billion gallons of oil annually. The School of Law Enforcement and Justice Administration was just awarded a $2 million federal grant for the Western Emergency Operations Center. And the Speech Pathology and Audiology Department raised over $100,000 last semester through their Gifting a Voice campaign to purchase communication technology for non-speaking children in regional school districts. Thanks to the donors, SPA graduate students received hands-on experience with the programming devices and teaching children to utilize them. It also changed the lives of the children who now have voices and are able to communicate with their teachers, therapists, and loved ones. Besides helping children in surrounding school districts, the department serves people of all ages, with over 1,800 visits to their on-campus speech and hearing clinic last year. Western has outstanding alumni. Mr. Robert L. Nardelli, 75, former CEO of GE Power Systems, Home Depot, and Chrysler, is the founder and CEO of XLRH LLC, an investment and advisory company. He has served as a senior advisor to SAP, Immigrant Capital Corp, and Ernst & Young, amongst others. Lieutenant General Vince R. Stewart, 81, retired three-star general from the U.S. Marine Corps and retired director of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, served as a deputy commander of U.S. Cyber Command, and is Chief Innovation and Business Intelligence Officer for Ankura. Margaret Wang, another one. Margaret Wang, 73, is an attorney and the founder of Margaret Wang and Associates, LLC, in Cleveland, Ohio. She founded her firm in 1978 with one desk and no secretary, specializing in immigration law. Wang and her sister, 1973 WIU graduate Cecilia, were born in Hong Kong, moving to the United States in 1969. Today, her practice includes 15 attorneys and 40 staff members with offices in 7 major U.S. cities. She has helped thousands of people coming to the United States to become permanent residents, advance their education, and pursue career opportunities. Western is an extraordinary institution with strong values that nurture success. Although I was raised thousands of miles from Western Illinois, I have embraced the very values that have imbued all of our leathernecks. Born in northwestern China, I grew up in eastern China, raised by parents who each had only 7 years of schooling, but they instilled in us abiding values. My father had a very strong sense of justice and fairness, and my mother was perhaps the best teacher I've ever had. Both of them were very well-read and well-traveled. My parents, who had lived through the war with Japan, World War II, the civil war between the nationalists and the communists, and the chaotic Cultural Revolution. They encouraged my siblings and me to pursue a broader world. My brother and sister also received a college education, and both went on to obtain an MBA degree in Pennsylvania and Australia, respectively. I, on the other hand, earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in English at the Chu-Fu Normal University, an exemplary teachers' university in the birthplace of Confucius, China's philosopher and educator, Confucius. I spent 7 years in that ancient city, 4 as a student and 3 years as a young college teacher, before enrolling at Beijing University, where I obtained a graduate studies diploma in English, actually British literature. Shakespeare. 33 years ago, my path brought me to the United States. First to Texas, where I earned a PhD in English from Texas A&M University at College Station, and then to Pennsylvania, and Michigan, Florida, Vermont, Louisiana, and back to Pennsylvania, where I met Ken again. And now Illinois, which my family and I consider home. My family, especially my wife, Jennifer, has been the most stable and reliable support structure I have the fortune to enjoy in my professional career, while she has her own career, which has taken me from professor to department chair, honors director, dean, provost, chancellor, president, and now, proudly, my third presidency at Western Illinois University. My third presidency, but at Western Illinois University. Along the way, I've had the fortune of being mentored by numerous great leaders like Dr. Les Wang, thank you, sir, and great friends like Ken Hawkinson, really good friends. They were always there when I have a question. These two gentlemen, They never hesitated, not a single moment. Of course, the gifts, Ken and Marie, Les and Phyllis, the books, the glass, we are going to enjoy them permanently. George already has one in his office. So now back to the speech. I digress. From them, I learned a lot. You heard from these two gentlemen, great leaders, great friends. And nobody can be successful without people like that guiding you and supporting you and encouraging you. I never failed to receive an email from Les when I say, can I talk? Okay, let me find the secretary, get you on the schedule. He never failed a single time, never did that. I learned from him. I try to answer every email. Now you know why I do that, right? Promptly too. So anyway, now life, I learned also, life is full of irony, and often the convergence of circumstances can lead to one's destiny. Never did I dream I would go to college. Yet I ended up with an American doctoral degree. Just as our personal lives are dynamic, institutions are organic, evolving as they respond to market and consumer needs. These are challenging times for higher education, for both public and private institutions, both types of which I have served. Almost daily, articles can be found that speak to the difficulties faced by the entire sector. Fewer high school graduates has meant increased competition for students. Public skepticism has led many to question whether the cost of college is worth the investment. Public funding for higher education has decreased dramatically across the country, increasingly placing the financial burden of college on the shoulders of students and their families. These challenges call for steady, reassuring leadership needed in such extraordinary times. I am an admirer of Abraham Lincoln, one of the few people who actually read every little poem written by Lincoln. It's a secret that not many people know. And as we know, Lincoln started his political career in Illinois. He became president in a time of turmoil. The Civil War began soon after Lincoln entered office. They held the country together during this very difficult period in American history. Our times are also tumultuous and uncertain. COVID, the Russo-Ukrainian war, resource scarcity, social and racial injustices, and more, both for higher education and the wider world. But never has higher education been more relevant, and the importance of universities like Western, regional, public, comprehensive universities has never been more clear. Not only do we shape the lives of students, creating pathways to social mobility will play a critical role in the economic development of the regions we call home. Last year, the U.S. News and World Report ranked Western among the top 23 best colleges for veterans, 49 best value school, and 47th for social mobility, based on our graduation rate for students who are the most economically challenged among those pursuing a college degree. At Western, we are creating a culture of institutional distinctiveness and growth, a culture energized by creativity, innovation, diversity, and distinction. Even as we work to align our priorities with strategies to a changing student body and make decisions necessary to best position the university for the future, there are clear signs of positive momentum. The well-deserved recent salary increase for our employees, the modest increase in spring 22 enrollment, and the 28% increase in fall 2022 freshman applications are just 3 examples. Even as we enhance the quality of the student experience, we are working to serve our region and the state. The newly established Arlington Seymour Center for Rural Education, Advocacy, Policy, and Research was created to address the shortage of teachers in rural Illinois. Supporting local communities, the Illinois Institute for Rural Affairs at Western helps administer small business development centers for the Illinois Department of Economic Development in both Macomb and the Quad Cities. Western is also partnering with Moline, establishing a much-needed early child care center that represents close collaborations with the city of Moline in meeting community needs. Going forward, we will continue to look for new and enhanced partnerships at the intersection of the university's strengths and community needs. An English professor, I always enjoy reading and teaching the works of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson, the 19th century American essayist, philosopher, and poet, recognizing the vital link between ideas and actions, observed that action is with the scholar subordinate, but it is essential. For an action is the perfection and publication of thought, end quote. At Western, that thought is the strategic plan, higher values in higher education, and we are acting on it and moving full speed ahead. We will work together towards a vision of growth and distinctiveness, growth in student enrollment and financial sustainability, growth in the quality and distinction of our academic programs, enhancement of student services, and enhancement of the beauty of both the Macomb and the Moline campuses. We will work harder and more creatively to prepare the university for the years ahead. We will grow strategically. We will build upon Western's proud tradition of educating and preparing students for their futures as global citizens. To achieve the overarching goals set in the strategic plan, I have established 5 top priorities in alignment with the plan. These priorities are to ensure a robust future for Western characterized by healthy enrollments, financial prosperity, and student success. Priority 1, recruitment and enrollment. We have developed and are implementing a recruitment plan that calls for an enrollment increase by 20% over the current levels by 2027, growing new student enrollment by 3% each fall. Priority 2, retention. A retention plan, including many innovative initiatives, is in place to help increase overall fall-to-fall retention rates of first-year students by 1% each year for the next 5 years, as well as grow our 4- and 6-year graduation rates by at least 1% each year. The plan was designed to address and act upon barriers to retention and student success, including their academic experience, campus experience, affordability, and a sense of belonging and community. The help close the achievement gap between the general student population and the underserved populations. Priority 3, justice, inclusion, diversity, and equity. Western is making renewed efforts to diversify our faculty, staff, and student populations, ensuring a welcoming, diverse, and inclusive campus and community. We just stood up a historic anti-racism task force composed of students, staff, faculty, and community members to combat microaggressions and all types of racism. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Trustees and all the members down there, all the Board of Trustees that recently approved my proposal to create a new Office of Justice, Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity that will be formally established later this summer or early fall. Priority 4, institutional distinctiveness. Western will continue to build its own brand of distinctiveness and distinction in academic programs, student services, campus beautification, among other aspects, and market our programs that set us apart from peer institutions. 5, internationalization. This year, Western enrolls a record number of international students from all over the world, and we will continue to build and expand partnerships with institutions across the globe that will benefit WIU and Illinois. As I noted earlier, life is full of irony and serendipity, and often the convergence of circumstances can lead to one's destiny. Never in my wildest dreams as a college student in China could I have imagined I would be standing here at the helm of an American institution poised for significant change. It seems that only in America does this happen to a nearly paltry immigrant student. But each one of us is called upon in our moment in time to be a wise steward of the institutions entrusted to us. Western Illinois University has distinguished faculty who are the best practitioners of their profession and wonderful staff who demonstrate unmatched dedication to institutional success and student success. With these partners, together, we will continue the legacy of those who have come before us by ensuring a stronger WIU for those who come after us. We will meet challenges as a community of faculty, staff, alumni, and students. Clearly, the success of this venture rests not only in the hands of university leadership. The responsibility rests with all of us, and it requires courage. Aristotle, George, you mentioned Aristotle. Aristotle in Book 6 of his Ethics states, "Let us begin with courage, for it is just in facing fearful issues that the brave man excels," end quote. Brave men and women are right here at the WIU. They are the leathernecks. We are the leathernecks. Western Illinois University is an institution for higher learning that generates and disseminates knowledge. Socrates equates courage with knowledge, while Francis Bacon calls knowledge power. Knowledge, courage, and power, leathernecks have them all. Let us roll up our sleeves and show our students that we share their grit and tenacity. Onward. Thank you so much.